Hello Langrisser players, Hatsuchio here, back again. First, I'm gonna have to show you what Leon is capable of these new troops, the Mechanical Knights. So these soldiers pass through defensive terrain when above 80% and ignores 2 of them during each turn. So on turn 1, as you can see here, Leon can normally move 5, 1, 2, 3, ignore this tile, 4, 5, and ignore this second terrain. And do something like this. On turn 1, just go in with Shiv. Opponents have no way to do anything. No way to react. If they put all their units in the front, and even then, if there's units here, you can still move 1, ignore 2, and then move 2, 3, and then strike units over here. So there's very little you can actually do against this Leon. So for this to be effective, you do need to be using, playing on some of these maps with a lot of defensive terrain, like this map, where there are forests here and then city walls for the Leon to just run right across. And then you can strike your opponent's tank or any of their unguarded units. On turn 1, if it's the Landius, you can kill that, or if it's anyone else, they're most likely dead unless they have a lot of Lancer troops, or it's a Lancer unit. You can do something like that. Or if you want to be fancier like this, you can go here, and you can run right across. This is 1, 2, and 3. The 2 terrain tiles are ignored. So this allows you to use Leon's full talent, 20% damage increase, and get the most amount of techs from cavalry. And then just go in, strike your opponent like this. And do something like that. Okay, so this is one of the maps you can use Leon with these mechanical troops on. The other one is obviously the Windy Outpost map. Where on turn 1, you can run right across. From over here, and then you can strike either of these 2 units. If there's a tank here, that one is going to be guarding. Or if... Actually, there are 2 tanks here, so can't really tell which tank is guarding if you attack here. But you can strike either of the units on these 2 blocks. I go in, and if they are not Lancers, you can probably kill them. This, and then also the AoE. Opponent can also do the same, and then you can see where this Leon can strike on turn 1. The frontmost tiles on the sides. And this Thorns is really the only way to counter this Leon rush. Landius anyways. Because of that Thorns, you kill your opponent before they can use their AoE damage to kill off your Leon. So Leon is going to be quite relevant again. If you are still unsure how to build Leon, you can use either swords, either like Balance Blade or any of the offensive swords. Leon does have his unique, so you'll probably want to be using that. You want a Fury tier for maximum damage. And then there are a lot of good accessories for Leon. I'm just going to use the Judge Talisman here, but you can really go with any of them. And the Mechanical Knights, you really have to max these out. They are incredibly strong. The other unit that can use Mechanical Knights really well is Lanford, actually. So you can do that. If you are either infantry or cavalry, if you are cavalry, you have a mobility of 5, plus 2 from the knights. Then you go in with chivalry, move up to 5 blocks again, and javelin. So you have mobility of 7, +5 plus a 2-range javelin, and then you can move back 2 blocks. So there's a lot of things you can do there. Snipe off somebody that is not guarded. Could be a good trade for you. Alright, the other thing I should talk about is the SP Elwin here. The Leon is a very, very strong counter to SP Elwin. With SP Elwin, if you stand alone, he gets a revive. But you can just go in with Leon. Kill his first life. Elwin is going to revive with 1% health. And then you can kill off the Elwin using the AoE portion of the Leon 3C. So that's one of the best counters, just using Leon. The other one you have to use Hiei, since Elwins usually run Bracer Emblem now, and as you can see here, they have a lot of defense and sometimes a lot of health as well. So Hiei might not even kill the first life off of Elwin, but if Hiei is capable of doing that, you can kill the second life, after the revive, using the Hiei 3C. Elwin is a big part of a lot of people's boxes now, since he is glory, and you can make a lot of glory units really good. Like, I see a lot of Ledin being played, Lustrio, Yulia, some young Jessica, and then there's a whole bunch of other really good glory units like Noemi, Rosalia, Lucia. Yeah, a lot of good stuff. For Elwin, he's also part Empire, so you can actually faction buff using Leon or Rosencio, which is more likely. Rosencio's faction buff is extremely strong. Let's just show that here. So what this does is, during battle, your damage increases by 12%, and when you're attacked, you dispel 1 buff off the enemy. So if you dispel your opponent's attack buff, now you're like guaranteed to survive. So it's extremely strong, but it's kind of luck oriented, RNG, but it's still one of the best. And you do kind of want a faction buff from someone else for your SP Elwin, just so you can bring both of the attack skills here. So you can go Sword Soul plus Frontal Assault. Or you can either Dispel 5, apply Heal Block, or you can get a ton of defense and disable passives. So just having that option makes Elwin extremely threatening. So you can really disable tanks. Like if your opponent puts up their 2-range guard, you can just Sword Soul that off. Or if they don't, you can Frontal Assault, and assuming that you get another chance to attack, you can take out somebody unguarded, or you can just trade for the tank. So, how to play Elwin, I would say you really want to be last moving your turn with Elwin. He's stronger as player 1, last moving, than player 2, since if you're player 1 and last move, your opponent gets 1 action to try to deal with this Elwin or heal back up. And if that unit cannot deal with the Elwin, then you're just gonna get to start a move using turn priority and do something else extremely dangerous, like take out an unguarded unit, or just kill the tank, like Juggler, if you fail to do so on the first attack. And assuming your opponent is not on Blood Pact, they're just healed, blocked, and then you can go in that 2 turns, maybe try to take down that tank. As player 2, if you last move, still okay, but then you're giving player 1 all 5 actions available to try to deal with this Elwin, like sleep or something. Well, you're going to be immune to a lot of debuffs after this Ring of Glory, but if there's anything that they can do to shut down this Elwin using any of those 5 units, then it's not that good for you. Still, it's really strong since you have that revive. You're basically immune to a lot of stuff and you have a lot of defense. Even more with frontal assault. So Elwin, really threatening. If you want to shut him down, consider bringing Leon along. Alright, well, that's it for now. Take care until next time.